Hi, good afternoon. I'm Ray SMS from Boyraca.com. Can you tell us more about Workbank and when it started and what your plans are here in the Philippines?
So Workbank is a job site, but we are driven by the virtue of Malasakit, and we are powered by technology at the back end. So we are a platform, a talent solution platform that connects job seekers to recruiters. And what we want to do is try and provide resources and perks as well as trainings for our candidates to help them improve so that they can find the right kind of job and recruiters can find the right kind of talent. We launched in November of last year and we've been sort of operating for most of this year, predominantly focused on building our candidate pool, making sure that the talent is exposed to what Workbank provides as a platform so they can come on board, create their profiles for free, and ultimately start looking for job opportunities that are out there where we have been onboarding some of our recruiters. So we're pretty much about 10 and a half months old, if I were to say so. But our long-term vision and plan is to ultimately bridge businesses with the right prime talent and to give our talent resources and accessibility to certain things that they may not have accessibility to, whether it is in the form of training or whether it is in the form of a resource. And now more recently, with us introducing the e-card, it's giving you access to getting discounts and accessibility to certain other venues and avenues, which is very different for a job site. Right? It's because we are looking at your life and your experience that matters.
So when you look at candidates for the job that you have in Workbank, so what kind of qualifications do you look for?
So we don't have any specific requirement because ultimately it is the individual who will create their profile depending on what stage of their life they are at in terms of looking for a job. Predominantly you need to be of an adult age where you would be joining the workforce.
He's 18 years old.
That is 18 years old. So we do have a wide range of candidates already, which starts from fresh graduates who've just about completed and looking for their first job, to even professionals who've been in industries for 10 years or 15 years and have their profile available on Workbank. What they would do then is look for opportunities that come up from companies that post jobs, or they might be invited to join an interview if their profile, sound profile, meets the requirements of any recruiter, any company. So that company will be able to invite them to an interview. If they get invited, they then get along 100 peso Grab code so that they can use it to get to the interview. Because I know traffic in the Philippines, the amount of time you spend, the amount you spend as well to get to any place can be a burden for somebody looking for a job.
Also, to add to that, the reason why we started giving benefits to our candidates is because before we started Workbank, we did a customer journey study. And we found that there are really people who has a hard time going to interviews kasi they really don't have money.
Yeah.
So parang it's
Yun yung
so
reason
sad.
ba't sila
Yeah, kasi naghanap ng trabaho to get a job, but they don't have money to buy clothes kasi you need to look presentable.
Yes.
And then you don't have money to go to the job. Yung iba nangungutang pa and they miss interviews because they can't go there. So it's really out of malasakit.
Yeah. And yung mga trainings po na in-include nyo, does it also include yung mga the way how you should look like in an interview?
For I said personal branding, it's not
part
exactly
of
that yet, but
It's more focus sa sa work siguro.
not really. Parang it's an overall upskilling, whichever part is needed. So we're not focused on. It's more of depending on what's needed. Yes. So some people need personal branding. Some people maybe need more of business writing. So different avenues, different types of upskilling. Kung ano yung kailangan. So not necessarily like what do you call that? A certain aspect lang. So we try to cover as many aspects as possible.
So you guys also profile them according to their bio data or something?
So we do basically ask our candidates to indicate what sort of trainings they would
They
like,
need.
because our candidates come from all industries in the Philippines. So you would have different individuals looking for different type of trainings. For us, it's more about identifying training partners that provide certain type of trainings that you may not necessarily get when you are studying in university, or you may not get, which is easily available. Some of these trainings require an individual to actually invest some money to attend, to learn. And a lot of these are around behavioral skill. A lot of this is around presentation skills, image branding, business writing, things that are very applicable in a workplace, which you may have not acquired as yet. So what we want to do is make life a little bit easier for our candidates. So here's an opportunity. Here is something that you can acquire as a skill, which you have to then practice. So when you actually attend an interview or you join a company, you've already acquired one or two things beyond just going to a university and getting your CV. So we are trying to provide our recruiters, the companies out there, with a more rounded candidate, right? Which is why we also are partnered with Profiles Asia, where you as a candidate can take a psychometric test and understand yourself, right? Because you might think, you might reconfirm that you're good with numbers. So a recruiter can see that information, which you may not get from a CV.
Yeah, that's right.
That profile gives you a different sense of the individual. So when you actually have the person in front of you for an interview, your approach to questions or your responses to a recruiter will vary, will differ. So the kind of candidate we want to present to companies and for the interviews are sort of well-rounded. That's our objective.
Yeah. We also have partnerships with government agencies like TESDA for skill upskilling candidates.
Yeah, for now, we don't have yet, but we're working on several partners. So we'll definitely consider this.
So our intent definitely is to work with various government agencies, because we're relatively young. We need to also build that credibility with all of the agencies. But our objective is long term, and our vision is to support them as much as possible, such that the message gets out there and the learning gets out there to even far off places that are beyond Metro Manila. Because out of 107 million in population, it's got a relatively high employment rate, as you've seen, right? And we want to kind of keep getting that rate as high up, where you kind of stand in the top set of countries when it comes to employment, when it comes to skill, when it comes to labor.
Okay. So, you mentioned that you have like trainings as well. So, yung mga trainings ba yun ay parang ikakaltas ba sa kanila yun? Or
No, that's what's good about Workbank. So our tagline is actually "Let's invest in you." So we literally invest in candidates. They're all free. All you need to do is just complete your profile and just make sure you're actually qualified to that training. So we also have syempre,
exams.
depending on the training, because of course if you're attending the business writing, you need to at least have a certain grasp of writing. Otherwise, sayang naman, it's more other candidates will benefit more from it. So yeah.
And we continue to look for like-minded partners that can help reach out to these candidates, because there are a lot of training outfits, a lot of training companies that also have similar intent. They want to build the skill set of the local Filipino population, right? For them also, it is a different way to get accessibility to a bigger pool of individuals, and for individuals to know about these training outfits. So we might, let's say we have a company that provides training in Excel as an example, but they also provide training in multiple other fields. If the candidate likes the training that they've experienced with Excel, they might be interested in doing more with
Advanced
trainings with that company as well. So the objective for such institutes that spend time, and it's a very noble business to be in, training, right? Because it's about passing on knowledge, and to be able to do that, and for us to partner with like-minded companies like that, we are all open to, and we are explorating.
Right. Based on your experience ever since you started November last year, so what's the average turnaround time for being a candidate with zero knowledge up until getting to get hired by the companies?
So it's an ongoing process, right? So it depends on what stage of your life you are. You could be employed for the past 6 years, but still want to kind of improve on a certain skill, right? Which is a personal skill, which at the point of looking for a job can add value to you. So it's not a key dependency for you to get a job, but it actually helps you present yourself better when you're in that line for an interview. So there isn't a direct metric to identify that because of this many training, these many people got a job. Because many of them are already working. But it's preparing them for
They're just
growth.
upscaling, yeah.
Like you've seen, right? Gen Z and the youth, the millennials, career aspiration is a big component of their lives. They want to aspire to grow in their career. We are just providing the tool to enable them to do that. That's what it is.
So are candidates
yeah.
have limits with the trainings, or they can apply any trainings as much as they want?
So they can. So we've had repeat candidates who've applied for different trainings. So whether it was behavioral skill or business writing, and as a result, they've been able to get accessibility. So we don't have restrictions in the number of trainings that you attend, but given as we grow our size of candidate pool as well, we would like to have as many candidates get the opportunities, and so we try and open it up as much as possible to new candidates that come through the door, to people who have not yet experienced what we are promoting.
Currently, what kinds of industries have partnered with you guys that have high demand, I think?
In terms of jobs or
Yeah,
training?
in terms of jobs.
So we cover pretty much most of the industries, but I would predominantly say that industries that have a high need for people are normally the IT BPO sectors. You have retail as well, and manufacturing are two components. Accounting is an interesting space where there's always a need for people because it's a specialist role. But overall, in if I were to generalize, I think every industry has different needs. We're seeing a lot of demand also coming from technology industries. There's a lot of startups also kind of springing up in the Philippines, and they're always looking for specialist roles. Marketing and digital marketing are other avenues of high demand.
So you also offer trainings for developers, software development.
That's our intent. So we began trainings only 2 months back, right? So it's not something that has been there for many years. But our objective is to have this on an ongoing basis. And as we get the pool of candidates indicating to us their interest levels, we can then tailor certain training programs through our partners for them. So it could be maybe digital marketing. And if that is a hot topic, then we are more than happy to kind of explore how can we do a maybe one-day workshop for such individuals. It all depends on the candidates, right? Because it's the candidates' need.
Yeah.
The candidates may say, I want to learn more of this, but I don't have the resource to, at this point in my life, to actually get that. So what we are trying to do is, let's see how we can help you. Let's see how we can invest in you. That's all.